What's up, traders? It's Chris here from Grindstone Trading. I just wanted to do a little bit more advanced IBKR stuff here to show you guys how I'm finding the plays that I'm posting in the group, what sort of things that I'm looking for, what sort of scanners I'm using to find them, and then what I'm using to actually chart them out here. It's sort of an ever-growing process. I try to post videos being like, well, this is how you do this aspect, and this is how you do this, but there's always more to it. Especially with a trading strategy like mine, which is constantly growing and evolving, and I'm using different things here and there to try to analyze things. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit more about my IBKR settings, because my last video was very a little bit brief and a little bit oversimplified. So I want to get into some of the advanced stuff that I'm doing here. So here we are back at my scanners and screens that I'm using here, and you can see with the SPY here that we are experiencing a pullback in the market, which means I immediately swap all of my settings to the point where I'm looking for dip buys. I'm looking for stuff that is in the negatives, which is what this scanner is. It's showing me only stuff that is in the negatives, and I've got it set to also show me a couple of other parameters on here. Such as how many shares there are in the company, obviously the last price. It's auto sorting here by volume as usual, just like all of my scanners. But I've also got it using this tab here, which is basically the target price that analysts have set for the stock. And it's twisted around with the actual price of the stock, and it's showing a sort of a percentage disparity right now. So that's essentially what I'm kind of looking for here. There's a couple of ones that keep bouncing up on here that I alerted yesterday. Things like HEPA keeps coming up on here. NEPT keeps coming up on here because they've got very bullish analyst price targets, but right now they are in fact pulling back. One that does keep coming up on here right now is PULM. This is a really, really solid one that I've been following for a while here. So let's focus on that one for this example and use that. So I've clicked on PULM and it's brought it up on my second screen, and I'm just going to switch to that here and show you guys what that looks like. So here we've got it now brought up on the second screen here with the chart here. I can see this pullback happening on PULM. But it's not quite enough of a pullback that I think it's going to bounce back just automatically. I like seeing rounding stuff like this. This would have been very much the time to buy kind of earlier in February here before its big push up. It would have been a 100% gainer, but we missed it. So I'm looking for something a bit bigger, and I'm looking for a little bit more history. If this was a big red candle all the way down to 50 SMA, I'd probably be encouraged to throw some money at this, but it isn't. It's just kind of wafting around right now. I'm not seeing heavy volume stepping in to pick this dip up here, so I'm not convinced it's done falling. So this one, I'd kind of recommend just going back to the drawing board, maybe putting it on a watch list or something along those lines. I don't think I found another big reversal turnaround play just yet. Some other ones that I'm seeing, SHIP, let's bring that one up. Same thing with this one, had a big run with the rest of the shippers, Castor Maritime, PXS, and all that sort of stuff, and now it's dipping. This one's a little bit more promising because I'm seeing some very heavy volume stepping in to pick this one up. This might be something I would discuss. Still something I'd want to see a little bit more history happening over multiple days, just because this one's got a much bigger float. Actually, it's not horrible. I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is only an 80 million float here, so it's not bad. But it's definitely coming down after a big squeeze, which I don't like, because what I find more often than not, it's going to round and it's going to pop. And then it's going to come down, and it's going to round, and then it's going to pop. Just from a visual standpoint of what a chart is going to look like. This isn't a big, long, red enough candle that I think it's going to bounce back from this right away. So that one is going to get probably passed on to OTLK. This one has been on an absolute rampage for the last couple of months. But now here we go. We've got a big pop up to 4. Then we've got a pullback here. We can see if there's any news to kind of indicate what caused the pullback, or if it was just sort of a natural pullback. Definitely seems to have just been sort of a natural natural pullback here. So this is one I'm going to jump into the group right now and start discussing. We've got a little bit of a higher lows pattern here. This pullback is kind of starting to round out here, and it's almost starting to look bullish, and this pullback might be the last pullback we get before it starts to move up again. This one is showing me a 98% price disparity between target price and actual price, which means average target price on this is probably around $5. I can verify that in tip ranks if I choose to. But even though this one's not quite bouncing near 50 SMA, it's still something that I would look at just because of the price activity and the shape of the charts. We've got a run up, we've got a sell off here, consolidation, 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 and now it's looking like maybe, just maybe, it's going to start to move up again. So this is something that I would consider playing with a stop loss maybe just below here, just in case it does dip back down. We would stop out if in the event it comes past here on its way back down to meet 50 SMA or something along those lines. What else do we have that looks reasonably interesting here? Already did ship. What is this one here? NAK. This one's got some fairly bullish price targets on it. This is a mining stock with things like Denison and stuff like that running. Other mining stocks are getting a lot of looks here. You can see these volume spikes that are bringing it up, followed by these periods of consolidation. And then our float on NAK, I can't see it. It's taking it away from me here. But yeah, this is another one that I would consider. Again, I'd like to see this sort of pattern forming over multiple days. I'm not convinced it's done dipping yet. We've got lower highs happening straight on down here, and it hasn't kind of broken through that and started to curl around, which is what I really like to see. And it's not a big enough dip today that I'm just losing my mind wanting to throw money at this here because it's so undervalued. Everybody can see the same price targets that I'm seeing. And people aren't buying this all the way up to whatever this price target is. I think it's got about a $3 price target on it. Nobody's, nobody here was just buying it straight up to its very bullish price targets. So you got to keep that in mind too. Price targets aren't the be all and end all. It's just sort of an aspect that I use when I'm actually getting into a position here. I very much look at price targets and think, okay, well, even if I don't get the best buy price here, it's still a good buy because over time, these incredibly awesome 5-star Wall Street analysts that I follow are saying this is going to double or triple or whatever in value. So it definitely is an aspect that I pay very close attention to. What else is showing up on this chart? Oh, here we go. Here's my MBRX, which I always think is a buy here. This has got 300-ish% to go before it even starts. Well, about 200 and some percent to go before it even starts touching Wall Street analyst price targets on it. They're incredibly bullish on this one. This pullback makes me a little bit nervous simply because then I look at it and go, well, I could have sold some here and rebought down here. But this one is going to turn into a hold for me. I can tell that already. That one's got insane targets on it. And that's about all I'm seeing on my dip watch list today. So that's a little bit more on how I'm doing my style of trading. My style of trading very much being dip buys and looking to get in on things like 50 SMA bounces, looking at things with very bullish Wall Street analyst price targets, and how to do all that in one simple watch list on IBKR where I can see all of that information, all of these nice juicy dips happening all at once, sorted by volume so I can see if volume is really stepping in to pick up a big dip, and all of that all in one watch list. And that's how I'm doing it. I know not everybody here is on Interactive Brokers, and you guys have other stuff that you're using. There are free ways of setting this up with other software. You can even use conjunction of software to do this. You could use, say, FinViz for the finding of the charts and patterns that you want to see. Then you could use, say, tip ranks to actually research those stocks and see what the analyst price targets are on there, and maybe something else, a more interactive chart like Webull, which is also free to use for their tools, to actually chart it out and figure out support patterns, resistance patterns, and all of that stuff, as opposed to doing it all in one program. Which is why I recommend Interactive Brokers, because you can do all of this in one incredibly interactive program without jumping around a whole bunch. You've got your tip ranks data, you've got powerful charting software, you've got a volume scanner, and it's all synchronized all in one tool. So I hope somebody got at least something out of this video. I'm going to keep doing more of these videos here to help you guys get a deeper understanding of how the stock market works, how to use your tools to your advantage, and find things that are worth trading every day. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Best of luck for the rest of the week, guys, and take care.